3 straight national championships for the Big Ten. What is the SEC going to do?
You're talking ball with the Big Ten Squad, sponsored by Game Time. From USC to Ohio State, from Michigan to Oregon, from Nebraska to Washington, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming Big Ten weekend. No hurt feelings and thin skin allowed. Squad up, you're part of the Big Ten Squad.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to this week's Locked On Big Ten Squad. I'm Spencer McLaughlin, your host. I've got Mark Culkin of Locked On USC and Roman Tomashoff of Locked On Huskies. We are a small group, but we are indeed mighty, and we're just going to come out and say it. This is Locked On Pac-12 Squad, reincarnated. Yep. RIP, forever and always. Look at what you've done, Mark. Look at what you've done. Of course, now we're all part of the best conference in college football. That has won 3 straight national championships. The Indiana Hoosiers, I struggle to put it into words that they're the national champs, but that's the world that we live in now. And we'll talk about what the Big Ten might look like power rankings-wise for 2026. So, Mark, why don't you start us off? What is the SEC going to do? Because the Big Ten seems to just run the sport now, and all the inherent bias and benefit of the doubt and all the stuff the SEC's gotten for years, it's very clear you can't give that anymore, and you've got to give it to the Big Ten, right?
Sure. What I find really funny, and I guess ironic about this whole thing, is Nick Saban having to come out and say, we can't afford to do this anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was, again, the SEC model was when everything was being paid under the table, quarterbacks were getting bankrolled. I mean, I can give you some really big numbers, the type of numbers we're talking about today, but that was what was going on under the table. Now that it's common practice, hey, pay up, you're going to get the players you want. You know, the folks in the North, they learned how to, industrialize. They learned how to build businesses. And they've got some influential boosters and donors. And this is what happens. So, I remember back in the day, when the Pac-12 actually existed with USC and Washington and Oregon and UCLA and Stanford and Cal and so on and so on, USC didn't have troubles, beating up on the SEC. And were they paying under the table? Probably a little bit, not compared to the way the SEC does it, though. So I just find it funny that once all of a sudden the playing field was leveled out, you got SEC folks saying, we can't compete in this environment.
Yeah, Saban's remarks gave me a laugh. It's not the first time, Roman, I see you rolling your eyes at. It's not the first time that something like that has been said. I mean, one of my favorite moments on game day of all time in the last couple of years is when Shane Gillis, who's a laugh out loud hilarious, was on there, and he's a Notre Dame guy, and he just was just pointing out the elephant in the room to Saban, and he's going, yeah, the SEC never paid players, and then Saban just wasn't having fun at all. He's like, right. Well, we did, the way we cheated was the way we developed, and we're all sitting here going, dude, are you kidding me? Are you for real right now?
That's why I was rolling my eyes, because I'm just so tired of this holier than thou crap that he keeps spitting out there. Like, I have all the respect in the world for Nick Saban as a coach. Obviously, he did a tremendous job for all of that. That goes without saying, right? But now it's, oh no, the SEC can't compete. Shut up. Stop. I'm so tired of this. Like, yeah, oh no, oh my God, Mark Cuban's paying for Indiana now. Now all of a sudden they found a way to be good. Oh my God, like, save the whining. Like, if this was the other way around, like, and the SEC won 3 straight, oh yeah, no, look at that. See, everyone's paying now, and you still can't compete with what we're doing down here. I'm just so tired of all of that, and it is fun to see the parity in college football now with what Indiana was able to do and with what other programs are able to do around the country in terms of building it up. I think we're getting a little tired of the Texas Techs of the world, if you will, that are taking that a little too far in one direction. But I look at just the way that, just because that stuff pisses me off so much with how the SEC has been treating the just the world of NIL and paying players and everything, when they're still doing it. And now they're just, very clearly not as good. But I think that everything we've seen over the last month or so with Indiana just going on this tremendous dominant run really is so good for the sport of college football. And I think we're going to see some more restrictions hopefully soon at some point in time, but I'm really excited with what this can do for the future of the sport.
You brought up Texas Tech, and I don't that doesn't bug me in a major way.
I think that's fair.
I think it's just the Big 12's, most prominent version of being all in, and kind of what you're talking about. Like Texas Tech had never.
LSU is the complete opposite of the Nick Saban, Kirby Smart approach where they can't afford it. LSU's all in with their cash.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm well aware of how all in LSU is, Mark.
Oh, really, Roman? You got a story there or something, pal?
A couple things have gone on here over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and the pearl clutching is annoying. And I tell you one thing that I do appreciate about this whole dynamic that's unfolded over the last couple of years. Does it feel to anybody, maybe I'm just out of the loop on this stuff, does it feel like the Big Ten pounds its chest the way the SEC does? Because to me, I think it feels more like the results on the field are just speaking for themselves. And everyone's just kind of sitting around letting that happen and saying, yeah, well, we don't need to go out there and tell you and give packets at media days at why we're, the best at all this stuff. We're just going to go win games on the football field.
Spencer, I disagree. I disagree. I just don't think the Big Ten is as good at it. They haven't mastered the SEC manifesto type of approach yet. I mean, look, right now, Tony Petitti, the Big Ten, we want 24 playoff teams.
Oh, it's gross.
I mean, they're trying to figure out how to do it. So yeah, I think they do, and it's only going to get worse. This is why I'm not a conference guy. I like to focus on my team.
Yeah, well, this is the Big Ten squad. We gas up. But by the way, the Big Ten being looked at correctly as the best conference in college football is good for any of the programs that we follow on our individual shows.
What's so funny is the SEC doesn't want to do the 2014 thing, yet they pound their fists at the end of the season. We deserve 17. We deserve 8 teams in the playoffs. Wouldn't this give them a better opportunity?
Yeah, well, that report came out from On3, Chris Lowe, and others that the SEC wants 16, but not 24. And I don't know what the distinction is in that. Now, I've been on record before and continue to think I'm against all forms of playoff expansion. Like it's just not how I view the sport. It's not what I think is best for it. And I don't think you need to. I mean, 16 is too many. Heck, I think 12 is too many. But I'd like to not expand it further. And also, the ridiculous impatience of the power brokers in the sport is insane. Okay, changes to playoff formats have come forever in every single sport. That's normal, healthy, be adaptive, great. 2 years, you're talking about having a championship format for 2 seasons, and you're saying we've got to increase the number of teams by 33 or 100%. Those are the options. Like, could we at least have the 12 team for 5 years? Could we? That's what I would like to see. Could we run this for 5 years and then figure out if it needs to expand further? That's what I would like to see.
Did the NCAA tournament improve when they added in the play-in games and when they went from 64 to 69 or whatever?
Yeah, I actually think it did. It didn't fundamentally change the awesomeness of it, but I like it. It's fun.
I agree.
So one more Cinderella gets a chance to win a game and make some money for their sport.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that I don't know if that's necessarily the best example here, Mark, just because it's just so fundamentally different of you're playing into the tournament itself versus, oh yeah, you can actually claim yourself as a college football playoff team where, like, how often have we seen those first 4 teams, if you will, from the now field of 68, like actually not necessarily, because like Washington on the women's side was one of them last year, where it's like, it's kind of weird to even claim it as an NCAA tournament appearance if you don't win that game versus, oh, okay, yeah, we're adding 4 more teams to college football playoff, and now, hey, all of a sudden, yeah, we were a playoff team last year. We were the 15 seed or whatever. I feel like that's a very different discussion.
Yeah, I mean, a first 4 team has won a game in the first round of the tournament, I think, just about every single year since they introduced it. And UCLA made a run to the Final Four as a first 4 team as I think it was an 11 seed a few years ago. Mark doesn't want to hear about that, but the way I see that is kind of the way I'd see adding even 4 more teams to the field. Like, okay, yeah, sure, it'd be kind of fun in the playoff format, which is, again, not how I view the sport. But if you took away the first 4 from the NCAA tournament, I'm still dialed into that event. If you don't expand the playoff, it's still good enough as is, which is why I just look at it and go, boy, we're just so eager to have more playoff games. Maybe it would result in fixing the calendar. That's a different conversation. But when we get back, could there be a 4th different team to win the national championship in the Big Ten in 4 years? We'll talk about that and more on today's Locked On Big Ten Squad. That one is the open. Today's show is brought to you by our friends over at TurboTax. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever to just hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax Full Service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish, without the stress or the guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connect online. They handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms and work to get you every deduction. You can upload your documents, go about your day, and get updates right in the TurboTax app. You want to simplify tax season? TurboTax is the way to go. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in. If a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. Check them out at TurboTax.com/local. So let's do a way too early glimpse at the landscape of the Big Ten after Indiana wins the national championship. And I mean, if I were to put together power rankings right now, guys, I think Indiana's earned the respect to just be the number 1. And I don't think if you put Ohio State there, you're crazy, because the Buckeyes are going to be very good, but they're also losing a good amount of talent like Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles to the NFL draft. But as crazy as it is to say and just kind of process, Indiana's the best program in the Big Ten right now, right, Mark?
Sure. I mean, they won the national championship. Does that carry over to 2026? Let's see
how they're reloading the portal, man. I'm not going to put anything past them.
Let's see what their finished roster. Let's see what their finished roster looks like. Right now, I think if they were to play Ohio State's roster in 2026, you still got to keep 1A, 1B. If you want to split that hair, fine. But there's going to be there's going to be 4 teams at least in the conference that has a shot at making the playoffs again in 2026.
Yeah, I think, you look at what Oregon will have coming back. They're going to be right in the thick of it. What Ohio State will have coming back, certainly expect them to be a playoff. To Indiana as well. And there were 3 Big Ten teams in the playoff this year, right? Michigan with Kyle Whittingham, USC with Jaden Maiava back. If Washington gets a locker room together, I
was waiting for you to actually, want to say the name Washington.
No, I mean it's not impossible. I mean, they're on a good trajectory right now. I tell you, my favorite early offseason Washington stat, Roman: 3 straight years the Big Ten national champion is going to go play a conference game at Husky Stadium. I mean, season ticket holders getting their money's worth in Seattle.
Yeah, it's interesting enough. You don't need to add the Big Ten caveat at this point in time, which is it's still its own weird thing for the 3 of us sitting here on this show, not for the larger Big Ten squad, but also it's also unnecessary because Washington just should have had that first one.
Hey, back up, Roman. USC had to go play at Michigan the year after they won the national championship. USC will be playing at Indiana this year after they just won the national championship, and they're going to be hosting Ohio State, who I think won it the year before those 2. So,
yeah, but they didn't come to Washington directly after winning, and I was also just lamenting and being mad that Washington didn't.
With you. It seems like the West Coast schools are saying, "Hey, welcome to the Big."
Yeah,
certainly, especially after what Mick Cronin's saying on the basketball side of things right before we pressed record on this.
Dude, that's one of the funniest things. I'm sorry. Every time he talks and says something that comes back to, well, this travel and the schedule is just ridiculous. Wow, how did we get here?
I wonder, gee.
What happened?
We got so far away from the main point of me just being sad that Washington didn't finish the job at the end of the 2023 season. So, thank you for that in the long run. But no, I'll like Spencer, since the main point of the question is a way too early top 25. I've been really excited to see Washington on all of these lists because the things that I'm most excited about, outside of whatever controversy we're going to see over DeMond Williams for the next couple of months, where there are going to be people who are pissed off about that for a very long time, this is going to be a really solid Washington roster. And I don't know if it's getting the respect it deserves. This offensive line is going to be really, really solid. You're returning 4 starters. You're bringing in a 5-star true freshman. One of the guys who might start at redshirt freshman Chip Talialia is going to just give Washington a major physical boost along the interior of the offensive line. And then after re-signing Ryan Walters, giving him a raise, I think that this defense can take another step forward in 2026. And if you're able to do all that and find a reliable number 1 pass catcher with Denzel Boston out the door, I think that Washington can absolutely be in this discussion of a team that can sneak in the back end of the playoff.
Mark, what do you think about USC's chances to make the playoff? And by the way, you mentioned that Ohio State game. It's also worth pointing out, has anyone seen Ohio State's schedule for next year?
I haven't memorized.
Okay, Mark, talk about USC and their chances to make their first playoff appearance under Lincoln Riley, and I'll pull it up real quick.
So I've got my fingers crossed, toes crossed, and everything else going on right now that Lincoln Riley has finally figured it out. He has to have an outstanding special teams coordinator. He just brought in Mike Eckler from Nebraska. Dude used to coach linebackers at USC, so he'll have a little bit of an increased role there. That was one of USC's issues on defense in 2025. The linebacker play production kind of sucked. So you're bringing that in. Everyone is waiting for USC to announce Gary Patterson as their next defensive coordinator, the godfather of the 4-2-5. So they're going to keep the same system in place, but now they're bringing in the guy who knows how to actually make it work to the best of its abilities. He's more of an ass kicker type of coach as well, which is something that has been missing, that type of culture from the locker room. They got all the talent they need. They brought back their quarterback. They're bringing back all 5 of their offensive line starters, Roman, and they're returning the vast majority of the defense, the guys who were on defense last year. So, new coaching staff on defense, special teams coordinator, who's literally a type of guy that he will be offended if you don't practice hard. I've been talking about that on my own show this week. I think USC's chances to make the playoffs are good. The schedule sucks. It is rough. All those tough games, though, are at home, save for the game at Indiana, and then you got to travel to Happy Valley, as well as Wisconsin. So we'll see when the Big Ten says, hey, USC, you want to go play in the cold. Which one of those 3 is going to be in November is really what it comes down to.
I don't know why that was a shot at me. Hold on, real quick. I don't know why that was a shot at me. I can't control guys from graduating, Mark.
You got 4 guys who are returning on your offensive line. I'm just pointing out USC's returning 5. That's all.
Yeah, I just can't control guys from graduating. That's all I'm saying.
All right. You're very sensitive this morning.
By the way, the Ohio market, it could be worse. USC does have a tough schedule next year, no doubt about it. And the timing of those games, especially Penn State is such a wild card to me. Matt Campbell's such a good coach. Right. They're going to have Rocco Beck to quarterback, so they're solid. But does it all come together in one year, Curt Cignetti style or Curt Cignetti-esque, or does it take a couple of years to get going more a la Jed Fish at Washington and such? But here's Ohio State's 2026 schedule. They open with Ball State, the MAC, some say. Then they go at Texas in their return trip for that game. Then they play Kent State. Their Big Ten schedule includes the following games: at Indiana, this is in no order, at Iowa, at Nebraska, Northwestern, hosting Oregon, go at USC.
That's right.
I mean, Buckeyes better show up ready to go, or they could be like a sneaky miss the playoff team. Now, we don't know how many teams are making the playoff. If it's 16, then 9-3 Ohio State with that schedule will get in. Heck, in a 12 team, 9-3 Ohio State will get consideration. Look at us. We've morphed into the SEC. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
How in the hell does a 9-4 team finish in the top? Where did Alabama finish in the final AP poll at 9-4?
Like 8 or 9.
How does that happen? 4-loss team, top 10.
It's easy. It's easy. The SEC pounds their chest and tells you they're better than everybody else. Meanwhile, Indiana drubbed them 38-3. Oregon got shellacked by Indiana, and it somehow played them significantly tougher than Alabama did. Yeah. Iowa played Indiana tougher than Alabama. Penn State played Indiana tougher than Alabama did. But yeah, I think if it stays at 12 teams, I think 4 Big Ten teams in the playoff is on the table. I think if it expands to 16, I mean, certainly 24. Let's say it expands to 16, though. I think 5 or 6 Big Ten teams is on the table. I mean, you've got some serious – if Ohio State wins at Texas, that is going to buy them, as it should, immediate street cred to a significant degree. And then they go through that schedule. If Ohio State goes in at 10-2, they're automatically in a 12 team. If they go through that schedule to win at Texas at 9-3, they're automatically going to be into a 16 team playoff. So I think the number of Big Ten teams that's going to make it, I think it can only go up, and that'll just give them more opportunities to win a 4th straight national championship.
But you're not in on 24 teams. As long as
no, I'm not even in on 16. I'm just saying that if it happens, it's got to be great for the Big Ten. It's best conference in the.
We all like to slam dunk on Notre Dame, but they still should have been in that 12-team field this year. James Madison did not belong.
Beat Miami.
Tulane did. Again, if we're just being real about it, Notre Dame still belonged in that 12-team field.
I don't know if I ever thought that there was going to be a day where I saw Mark defend Notre Dame. That was like not on my bingo card.
I'm not defending Notre Dame. I'm talking about the system itself. Do you think James Madison or Tulane is going to beat Notre Dame? Just yes.
No, not necessarily. No. But I still think that one of those teams should certainly get a shot.
Yeah, Mark.
That's why they added the play-in games for in the Big Dance.
Yeah,
they want to give these smaller schools a chance to, hey, come to James Madison. Yeah, you're not getting a scholarship offer from
Billy Napier.
Yeah, James Madison, their new head coach, Billy Napier. By the way, Roman, when you talked about Mark defending Notre Dame, for some reason, I thought of the equivalent scenario in the real world. It would be like green energy folks suddenly defending big oil. All of a sudden, you're like, wait, you're doing what now? You're playing who? By the way, Mark, USC and Notre Dame canceled their game for 2026, right? That's not happening.
I can hate Notre Dame with every fiber of my being, but I can still respect the fact that that's part of, college football and USC. Both of those, they're Siamese twins. They're joined at the hip.
But if the G5 teams, you know what? The G5 teams get that spot because the NCAA the playoff is defending against an antitrust lawsuit, which they would almost certainly lose if they just excluded the group of 5 from joining. So them's the rules. Welcome to college sports.
If you don't want schools like Washington and Duke suing their quarterbacks, you've got to start making these players employees. Otherwise,
don't sign a contract like that. That's all. But that, like, you're right. You're absolutely right that they need to be treated like employees, but also, like, if you think that there is going to be a situation where maybe you're going to enter the transfer portal for one reason or another, don't sign a contract 96 hours before being like, oh, okay, they're upping their offer. Yeah, I'm just going to act like this doesn't exist. Yeah, like that's a whole separate. Yeah,
it's bad. We'll wrap it there for today for our 3-man Locked On Pac-12 turned Big Ten squad. He's Mark Culkin of Locked On USC, Roman Tomashoff, Locked On Huskies. I'm Spencer McLaughlin from Locked On all over the place. We'll see you next time, everybody. Until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.